Hey guys, welcome to a new video on my channel. I know I have been a little bit absent, but it's just because I've been really busy with school. But now I've finished exams week, so we're free and I am going to try to focus a little bit more and make sure I have videos for every week to post to you guys. But anyways, hope you guys are doing great right now, and let's get started. Today's video is going to be a book review video because I haven't done one of those in a while, and so it's also gonna be kind of an April wrap up. So these are the books that I've read in April. They're not that many. I've just read 3, but yeah, I'm gonna review them. The first book is Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. Yeah, Kathleen Glasgow. And this is such a sad book. I mean, it's not like sad, but it's sad. It made me like cry a lot. It's about this girl whose name's Charlotte, and she deals with depression and anxiety, and she has suicidal thoughts, and well, she has a very hard life, and there's no one around her who really supports her. So it's about her life, really, how things happen to her, how she goes to like the hospital to try to get better, to when she leaves. And it talks about how toxic relationships can be, how when you're trying to heal yourself, you shouldn't try to heal other people at the same time too, because it just won't work. It talks about the reality of people who are suffering like her, and how, you know, it doesn't matter how much how sad you feel, you gotta keep going. There's here at the back, kind of like the synopsis, there's this phrase which I really like, which I think it's real. Like, I feel like a lot of people should try to keep that in their minds. And it says that sometimes, you know, not caring and sometimes having it hard has to happen before you can find your way back from the edge. And I think that's a real beautiful way to phrase it. But yeah, it's just, you know, how she deals with everything that's going on with her life, and how not to give up. And so it's very real, it's very raw. And at the end of the book, there's an author's note of explaining how this character is based mostly on her life and her life experiences and what she has gone through. And it's basically just a reminder that these things do happen in real life. There are people suffering out there. There are people who don't want to keep going, but you can. If you feel like you can't, you can. Just you're strong and you can get through this. And you know, if you want to see the rainbow, you gotta cope with the rain. And so just keep going, you're not alone. But yeah, I love this book. I think I gave it like a 4.3 stars. I feel like everyone should read this, but there are trigger warnings, so you should keep that in mind in case you're easily put off by that. But yeah, the next book that I'm gonna talk about is The Cheat Sheet. This is nothing to do with this one. This is completely different. This is a fluffy rom-com book between 2 best friends, okay? It's basically 2 best friends. His name is Nathan and her name's Bree, and they have been friends since high school. It's after college and everything. They're grown-ups, and basically they've always been in love with each other. They just don't know that. And so the book kind of goes through, he's an NFL star and she's a ballerina, and well, you know, they're friends, so it's kind of hard. They don't want to tell each other that they love each other because they feel like they're just gonna ruin their friendship by saying that, which I get. It's scary, and it can make everything horrible, but it can also be great to tell another person how you feel about them. And so they go through these fake dating thing. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but they kind of fake date for some reason that I'm not gonna talk about. And well, at the end of the book, they realize that they both have been in love with each other since the very beginning, and so they get to live happily ever after. But it's such a cute book because it's so fluffy and it's so funny, because it's kind of like you're watching a rom-com. It's not really romance, it's more like rom-com, and it's also a clean book, so there are no spicy scenes in it. But yeah, there are many people who find it cringy, and I get it. Maybe it's a little bit cringy, but I personally don't have that much of a problem with that. My mind just doesn't register it. So yeah, but I really liked it. I think I gave it a 3 stars, but it's a really good book by Sarah Adams. And I also in the future want to buy her When in Rome series, because I'm really excited to read that one. The next book that I am going to talk about is Powerless. I'll put an image right here of the book, though many of you guys I feel like have already heard of it. I don't have it currently with me because I lent it to a friend, so that's why I'm putting out the image. But anyways, this is the book that I'm talking about, Chef's Kiss. I feel like the best book that I've read in I don't know how long. It is so good. It has everything. It's angsty, like there's this tension between them that's like always there. It's enemies to lovers, it's like forbidden romance, it's fantasy, it's got everything. For me personally, it was a 5-star book. It was so good, and I cannot wait for the next book to come out in July. I think it comes out. Reckless. I cannot wait for you. The first time that I read this book, I read it in 8 hours. It is such a good book that you just read it at once. Like you can't stop reading once you start. So it's basically, we're in this fantasy world, and there are people who have kind of like superpowers, and there are people who don't. And this girl, her name's Perrin. I think that's, I don't know how you pronounce it. I pronounce it Perrin. She doesn't have superpowers. And then there's this guy whose name's Kai, who does. Now, Kai is part of like the royal family of this world, so he's a prince. But then he's also the enforcer, which basically means that he has to like kill, I don't know what it is, he kills every like criminal that there is in like the realm, right? And so each year, or each, I don't know how many years, there's this competition for everyone who has powers to get, it's kind of like the Hunger Games, you know, there's just this competition to see who's the best. And so the people, I don't know who, yeah, like in general, the kingdom picks around, let's say, 10 people to participate in this event. And so 10 people with superpowers go participate, and then one person wins, and he wins like a huge amount of money, I believe. I don't remember. But yeah. And so one day Kai decides to go to like the little town, which is where Peyton lives. And when he's there, he gets into trouble with other people who have powers, but they're not. They're the bad guys, okay? They're the bad guys. So Peyton saves Kai and tells him that she also has powers, but he can feel her powers because her powers are being psychic. Because Kai can like sense the powers of other people. So he's like, oh, you know, you can read minds, or like, oh, you have super strength, or like, oh, you can be multiple people at once, you know? He senses that, and he doesn't sense anything in Peyton. And so he's like, no, you don't. Like, you don't have powers. It's just like, no, I do. It's just, they're kind of like a psychics, you know? So I know everything about you. I can like read your mind and things, but you can't sense it because they're unpredictable, right? That's her excuse. They're unpredictable. And so after that happens, it turns out she gets picked to go to the games. And she's like, wait, I don't have powers. What am I gonna do? And so that's kind of what the book is about. The fact that she's also gonna play in the games, but she doesn't have powers, and how is she gonna get through them when everyone else does? And it's like super complicated, and there are a lot of like ups and downs in the games. People die, and it's sad. There are people die. It's sad, and essentially, it just kind of goes through how their relationship kind of grows throughout the book. You know, they don't like each other at the beginning, but then they kind of become friends. But there's this tension here. They both like each other, but they won't admit it. The thing is, they don't even kiss in the book. They don't kiss. They don't even kiss. Like, there is angst, there is tension, but like romance, there's nothing, because they don't even kiss once. And so it's just like, you know that they both like each other. They know that they like each other, but they can't be together. So they're not, because it's kind of like a forbidden romance. People don't want them to be together, so they can't. And it's a really beautiful book. I really liked it. It's funny, and I just loved it. It ends with a cliffhanger. It's supposed to be a trilogy. The second book is gonna be called, it's called Reckless. It comes out, I believe, in July. And then I don't know anything about the third book. But yeah, it ends powerless and it's in a cliffhanger. And then Peyton has this friend who she lived in back at the beginning of the book. And she has, I cannot remember her name right now, but she has also her own book, which is called Powerful, and came out not that long ago, so I haven't read that yet. But if you guys have, please put in the comments what you thought about it, because I am excited to read it. I just don't know when I will. But yeah, those are the 3 books that I've read in April, and I have to read Ruthless Vows, Divine Rivals, and All the Light We Cannot See, but I haven't read them yet, and I don't know when I will. But when I do, you just know that I'm gonna make a video about it. So I'll see you guys then. This is the end of this video. I hope you liked it, and well, if you guys have any ideas about what type of videos I can make in the future, leave them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and also click on the little bell of notifications so you can get notified whenever I post a new video. And love you guys. Okay, well, bye.